Welcome to Farm Charm Chic. I'm Emily. Today's episode is a brand new 5 under 5 DIY video. I have 5 beautiful Christmas DIYs to share with you that are all brand new. They are all beautiful, high-end, and on a budget. If you like crafting, DIYs, dupes, hacks, thrift flips, or just creating in general, I would love if you would consider subscribing. If you like any of today's projects, remember to hit that thumbs up. Let's go make some DIYs. I picked up this frame from the thrift store, and I also have this darling Santa ornament from Walmart. He was just a couple of dollars that I got, and this is the frame right here. It was $1.50 that I picked up. I hate this twine bow on there. I'm not sure the original picture frame came with that. I think that might have been added afterwards, but I wasn't a fan. Now, I did a project with this same Santa face last year, and it was wildly popular. It was very Victorian, very neutral, so I thought I would do this one adding a pop of color. Now, I didn't love the pink color on the frame, so I thought I would paint it black, and then I'm going to use a crackle medium. Now, in full disclosure, if I had to do this again, I don't think I would do this with the colors I'm using. I'm going to do a red over it, but the problem with the crackle medium is you can't do multiple coats of the paint because you'll paint right over like the crackle aspect that you had. So when I'm playing the crackle medium down here, I'll just kind of walk you through this and I'll show you what I mean. So you just want to put kind of a thin layer of this crackle medium all over your darker colored surface. And then when you go back in after this dries, it's going to make your paint do this really cool crackle texture. I did red paint, and if you know with red paint, it takes several coats to get a good coverage to have a bright red. And so I feel like if I had done a brighter green, that would have worked a little bit better. But I was really just kind of wanting to go for a red and white look. But it almost has, I don't know, you could see the black paint through even without the crackle medium there. So I think if I was to do it again, I would just start with painting the frame red a couple of times, doing a couple coats, and then going back in with a little bit of black dry brushing to kind of distress it, or maybe not even at all. It looks great in the end, but just in full disclosure, I thought I would share that with you. So you can kind of see how when it dries, it really is just a dark red because you can see a lot of the black through it. Now I have this is just some sheet music that I printed off. I just Googled Christmas sheet music free printable. I found this Joy to the World that I printed out, and I'm just going to match it, cut it to the size of the frame. Now this glass does not come out of the frame, so I'm going to be gluing it to the front, which I actually do like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crumple this up. I love to make the paper look like it's aged and old. It brings texture into a project, and it also just kind of brings a little, I'm going to age it, so it'll have a little bit of a contrast color to it. And I love the way it turns out. Now this is just the distressing ink that you can pick up at Michael's, Hobby Lobby. I think I got mine at JoAnns actually. So this stuff is wonderful. These are just kind of little sample pads that I've had. The ink is starting to dry out, but I just mist it with my little mister bottle, and it works great. So until I have to buy new ones, I'm just using these little sample sizes. When you go over them with the different colors, it will just pick up all of the little crumpled areas that you made and just really make it look aged. So this is just some Mod Podge I'm putting down on the frame here, and just kind of getting that all over, and then I'll just place this paper down and then just gently push it in. Now because we rubbed that distressing ink over all the crumpled parts, even though this is going to lay flat on the glass, you'll still see all of those wrinkles and everything because we did that texture and that distressing ink. It's really cool. And I'm just placing my Santa down there to see how it looks. Now I apologize, my camera stopped recording right here, which I don't know why, but you can see here I'm just taking some little ends of a pick and I glue on either side of the top of the frame there. And then I'm just taking this ribbon right here that I have that matches all of my Christmas decor. And I'm just showing you that I glued the little picks on either side. Now I just took my ribbon and I did kind of just like a circle like this, and then you'll just take it and fold it in the middle so it crumples down like a bow, and then you just glue a little piece of ribbon around it to pinch it in the middle. And you can just put a couple, like a strip behind for tails if you want to have the little tails on there. And then I just glued that piece on. I also just took some E6000 and some hot glue to put on the back of my Santa, and that's what's holding him down. You definitely want that E6000 because he is heavy. So if you pick up this Santa at Walmart, just know that he's heavy. You're gonna want that extra hold. I love the pop of color in this one. The one I made last year was very neutral, but I love that pop of red and the greenery on there. I think that really makes this piece. What a beautiful addition to your Christmas decor. Today's video is part of the 5 Under 5 DIY Challenge playlist. I host this challenge every month to bring creators together to create 5 DIYs within a theme that each cost less than $5. Our theme this month is Christmas icons, which really just means any Christmas decor. I am so excited to see what everyone has come up with. I am joined with the wonderful Shar from Crafting Up a Storm with Shar as my guest host. She is amazing and has a beautiful channel. She is so talented with her DIYs. So check out her channel. I know you're going to love everything that she does, and her video today is going to be spectacular. All you have to do to watch the playlist is look in my comments or in my description box for a link to the playlist. When you click on that, it's just going to start playing through everybody's video. You can get all sorts of Christmas inspiration on a budget, 5 DIYs from every creator that each cost less than $5. Let's get right back into the DIYs. I have this cute little Coca-Cola tin. I got it from my mother-in-law's house when she was cleaning out some of her decor items, and she had a whole pile of stuff that was headed for the thrift store, so I grabbed this. If you don't have a tin, use one of these little containers from Dollar Tree. They have all different shapes and sizes, but I've seen all over Pinterest some little junk boxes decorated for Christmas, and I thought they were so fun, and I wanted to take my hand at trying one. Now, I bought this ornament specifically to do this. I thought it looked very retro and very cute. He was just a couple of dollars with the 50% off, and I'm just cutting off his little hanging tag there. It was tin, so I could snip it off, and then I just sanded it with my fingernail file, so there's no sharp edges or anything. But that is the only thing I purchased for this. Everything else was just scraps of what I had. So I'm just taking some scrapbook paper. This was just a piece I'd cut some out of from a project I did earlier, and I'm just cutting it to match my lid. Now, some of these that I saw did not have lids, so I could have left it off, but I thought it would be kind of cute to have this plaid peeking out and have the back of this tin. I picked this tin because it had that green color to it. It is a beachy scene on there for Coke, not a cute Christmas scene, but you know, if you live in a warmer climate, it works, and it's what I had, so I'm going with it. Now, to fill my box up here, this little container, I'm just using a plastic sack there. I'm getting some hot glue. Floral foam would work fine, but I actually feel like I liked this better. I'm just taking, this is just something that for one of my Amazon packages came wrapped in this brown paper here, and so I put a bunch of hot glue down on that plastic bag, and I'm just going to tuck this all in so it's glued to that surface. And I just thought this was a great base to work with. Again, something free that I had at my home that I'm just repurposing. But I'm just making sure all of the edges are tucked around so you don't see that plastic sack anywhere. Now, I kept going back and forth between my Christmas decor items, just pulling out bits and pieces that I had left over from other projects or things, little scraps that I had. Literally everything that I used was stuff that I already had on hand that I was recycling or was left over from another project. So go through all of your Christmas items as you're getting your home decor up. If you have any little pieces you're tired of, or maybe a part of it broke off or something, keep it and try one of these. I had so much fun putting this together. Now, this is just a tree that I'd used in one of my sugar molds one year, and I had changed it out for something different this year, so I am just gluing it in, and I'm just using hot glue. It dries really quick, and so that's why I liked using it, but use whatever glue you would like. But I put that tree in, and then this Santa, and they're the main focal points of this cute little junk box here. Now, I had this came on a little wreath that I had from a thrift store years ago that I used the greenery off of, and I've been hanging on to that little sheet music and that little French horn. But again, use what you've got. I mean, this is so fun to be able to take even some pieces that you might have that they're so small that you don't know what to do with, and put them in a little art piece like this, and then you've got it. I just think it's such a fun idea. So I'm just sticking another little tree in. A lot of this was back and forth trying to find pieces and dry fitting them in and deciding whether I liked it there or not before I actually committed and glued it. But I'll just kind of have you watch what I do here. I mean, look at how cute this is looking. This is one of my most favorite projects I've ever made. I thought it turned out so cute. But I'll just have you kind of watch my process here and just see everything that I'm doing with putting this together. One thing I did right here is I couldn't get that little peppermint to stand up, so I just crumpled a little bit more of that brown paper and just glued it right in to prop it up. So that's something to keep in mind to do. That's why it's so nice to use that brown paper because it blends in, but you can also use it to kind of fill in different spots. Now, I had glued that French horn in, but decided I wanted to put something else there. So it took me a minute with my heat tool to melt that glue, but I mean, it was super easy once I got that heat tool out, and I just kind of moved things around so I could fit that cute little mug that I had. I bought it on clearance last year and thinking I was going to do something for Valentine's. I never did anything with it. So now it's part of this little junk box, and I think it turns out so cute. Once you have all of your leftover ornaments or trees or pieces that you're putting in your junk box, you can take a little bit of greenery. This is just from my stash of different picks that I have, leftover bits and pieces that I'm just going to glue in and kind of fill anywhere that I feel like it maybe needs a little more greenery. This is the juniper branch, I think, pick from Walmart that has these beautiful little red berries all over. I love this. It just kind of ties in that red and green Christmas feel. And then I'm just taking a little bit of moss, whether it be reindeer moss or whatever, maybe you've got your own moss that you preserved, just kind of tucking that in. If you can see that brown paper, that's great too. But I just thought that this kind of brought in a little bit more greenery into it. But look at how beautiful this turns out. I mean, how fun is this? And I guarantee you've got a lot of little Christmas things hanging around your decor, little bits and pieces, as I like to call them, that you could totally bring together and make a beautiful little Christmas junk box like this. I mean, I hate to use the word junk with it, but I know that's what they call them, but oh my gosh, I just think this is so fun and so beautiful and has that great vintage vibe. I'm so excited to use this in my decor this year. What do you guys think? Have you hopped on this trend? Have you tried this? Do you think you're going to try it? I would love to know your thoughts on this. This project is inspired by some ornaments that I saw at Vintage Market Days recently. It almost looked like they were postcards, or in this case, I'm using Christmas cards to make ornaments, or even just some little cute hanging decor. So I just found these two Christmas cards. Now you're going to need two of each design because you're going to do kind of like a pop out. And I'll show you exactly what I mean with that coming along here. But I'm just going to cut down one of them as my background. And then I'm just using some cardboard. This is just an Amazon box here. You could easily use some foam core, some thick poster board, cardboard. And if you want to decorate the back, rather than having the plain cardboard on the back, you could put some scrapbook paper. However you would like to do it, wherever you're hanging this, you'll know exactly how you want it. Now this first one, I'm just using some spray adhesive. It is the Gorilla Glue. That just makes sure you're in a well-ventilated area if you're using that. And then I'm just going to I rolled it with my brayer as you saw, and I'm just going to cut out the edge of the cardboard to be even with my, not postcard, but my Christmas card. Now, as I'm looking at this, I should have done the plain cardboard side out, but again, it's easy to fix because you can just cut some scrapbook paper down to put on the back, and that way you can just see just this scrapbook paper rather than the cardboard. Now I'm just going to clean any little frayed edges up or anything with my fingernail file there. And for my second one, I'm using some Elmer's school glue. Now I get asked a lot, doesn't your school glue dry out and have your pieces fall off? I have used this school glue for years, the Elmer's purple school glue. I've never had anything come unstuck. I think the problem is if you're having that happen is you're not getting a good enough bond between your surfaces. So that is why it is important to use a brayer, because that's going to make sure that no oxygen or air gets in between to dry out the glue. It's just forming that tight bond that's going to make your surfaces adhere together permanently. Now what I'm going to do is just take a piece of each of these second card and cut out as my 3D element. So I cut the car, the little cute truck. I just think that truck and the fact that it's turquoise and not red, I love it. I think it's so cute. Red would be cute too, but I just think the turquoise is real fun with that red barn. And then this little wreath here on the second card. So virtually you could take any design, any card, and cut out an element like this and do this with it. It's super simple and easy. And how fun would this be to have a tree of some really fun decorated items, or even if you're just going to do it to make a card to give someone, just make it a little extra special. So I just covered both of these with Mod Podge, and now I'm just going to go in with some iridescent glitter. You do any color. You wouldn't even have to do glitter, but I just thought that it just kind of makes it a little more fun. Again, I know glitter is kind of you either love it or you hate it. Or maybe with Christmas you can stand it a little bit, I don't know, but you do you, whatever works best. Even just a little bit of glitter around the edge of this 3D element so it's not completely covered would be really pretty also. Now I'm just taking some other pieces of that cardboard box that I had and just cutting out a little square. I felt like it was the perfect height to give that 3D element. I'm just using some hot glue, and I will just match up my truck on this one. I'm trying to get all of my glue strings off here. There was a lot. Plus it gives your glue a second to dry, so it's not going to come all the way like spilling over the edges. But I'm going to match up that truck. You still have a couple of minutes here to kind of get it all in place before that glue completely dries, which is nice, so you can kind of manipulate it if you need to. The wreath was kind of big, so I put 2 of the cardboard pieces on the back, and you'll see here I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue there. I will flip these over and then place it down. And again, just manipulate it so you can get it to match up to the design. You want to stand up or look at it straight on, or set it up like this so you can make sure that you're getting it completely lined up exactly how you need to. If you're looking at it where it's flat on the table, it doesn't give you that perfect lineup, so just make sure you're putting it up or standing up, somehow looking at it straight on. Now I thought it would be really fun on these to kind of tie in that background to the glitter on the 3D element. So I just run around the edge with a little bit of Mod Podge, and then I'm doing a little bit of silver glitter around the edge of this one. On the wreath that says, I think it says Joy to the World. Yep, I'm going to do a little bit of gold because I thought that tied it in. I didn't have any red glitter. If I had had red, I probably would have done that where the edge of the card was already red, but unfortunately my daughters used the red glitter for 4th of July decorations, so that's totally good. I'm just doing what I had. I just thought it was fun to add that little element to it. Now I'm going to use my Crop-A-Dile to punch a couple of holes in this so I can tie a little hanger on there. You could glue one to the back if you wanted to, if you didn't want to punch a hole in the front. That's totally up to you. I just liked the idea of having the hanger go from one side of the top to the other side. I felt like that would just help it hang a little bit nicer when placing it on a tree or like a little peg or something like that. I just really liked that look on it. I'm just using some twine. If you had some fancy ribbon or some baker's twine even would be very cute. You can see I have one hanging here, and the other one I have just pulled that twine tight so it could stand up to be displayed. But I think these are so beautiful and fun, such a great DIY to do. easy, doesn't take much time, perfect to do with kids or a group of people. Whether you're doing it for ornaments or cards to give someone, I really love this idea. What do you guys think of these? So I'm going to call this a thrift flip because my mother-in-law was going through a bunch of her Christmas decor, getting rid of things. She had a whole pile of stuff bound for the thrift store to donate, and she said I could have whatever I wanted. So I picked this Santa out. I think he is cute. However, he's very brightly colored for my decor, and it looks a little dated, to be honest with you. So I thought he had a really good texture to him though, so I thought it would be fun to try this technique with. So it took about 3 coats of white chalk paint to get him completely covered. Now, any color would be really fun to do, even like spray painting him gold. I know that the gold Christmas decor is such a trend right now. I'm waiting for the right Santa to try that technique with. But this one I just covered completely in white, and then I'm taking my antiquing wax and I'm going to go all over him completely, just making sure that I'm using a brush that's going to get into all of the little crevices. Now, this Santa had a very good texture, so it was perfect to do this technique with. So I'm just going to go all over completely and make sure that he's totally covered with this antiquing wax from head to toe. Now that Santa is completely covered in antiquing wax, I'm going to take a paper towel. A baby wipe will probably work a little bit better, but I was out of wipes this day. So I just use a paper towel and a little bit of a mister bottle here, and I'm just going to wipe back the antiquing wax. So what will happen is it's just going to wipe away all of the antiquing wax on the raised surfaces, leaving those little nooks and crannies, and all of that texture will hold on to that antiquing wax, making this look like it's been left out for years. It's aged. It's just a really cool finish in my opinion. Now I've done this several times with some of the little gnomes that you get at Dollar Tree to put on tiered trays, which are so cute to do. So it's the same type of technique, but it's kind of fun to take something that is like, ugh, you're not going to put it in your home because it's the wrong colors or something, and make it more neutral or make it match your decor. Once I have all of that antiquing wax wiped back, I'm going to go over with what paint was left in my brush, and I'm just hitting the high spots here. So I'm just going back over almost like a dry brush. This is just going to brighten up those whites. It gives a really good contrast to your antiquing wax. And after I looked at this, he's so cute the way that he is, but I thought, it's Christmassy. It's Christmas season. Let's brighten him up a bit. So I'm putting some Mod Podge all over him, and I'm going to give him a glitter bath, which really just means that I'm going to pour glitter all over him. So this is completely optional. I just thought it would be fun since this was just a piece that I was trying to perfect my technique with and see how it looked. It ends up looking so fun. My kids absolutely loved the glitter on it, but I understand if glitter is not your thing, or if you're like me and at Christmas time, the more glitter, the better. Totally optional. But again, I just covered it completely with Mod Podge, so that we had a good coat all over him. And this is just an iridescent glitter from Walmart. You could do it in any color glitter that you wanted. I thought this just kind of had a nice glistening look. Just like the antiquing wax, you're going to cover him with Mod Podge and glitter from head to toe, front to back. The nice thing about putting a piece of paper underneath when you're doing glitter is you can just take the excess, put it right back into the container. This will make sure your glitter lasts forever. Look at how adorable this Santa is. I think glitter or no glitter, either way, he's going to be a great addition to my Christmas decor. I think he's so cute. This is such a great technique to try with any pieces that you're looking at going, I wish I could tone this down a little bit. I don't love the bright color or it doesn't match. This is a great way to take a piece that is destined for the thrift store like this and make it right for your home. What do you guys think of him? I love using bells in my Christmas decor, and I did pick this one up at Walmart. It was $3.98, and it has this word Merry written on it. And maybe you have something like this in your decor already, or you're trying to figure out like Maybe you're over the words being written all over everything. So I'm just showing you on this piece here that if you just take your fingernail file or some sandpaper and just lightly go over these words, they will come right off. Now you could spray paint over it. That would also be an easy option. I'm just showing you kind of how to make an upgrade on this cute little bell here, or get rid of some words maybe that you don't want on there. So I just will go back and forth getting that off of here. And then since you're kind of scuffing up the paint job, I will go around the entire bell and I will sand all of it so that way the texture matches everywhere. Using the smallest amount of black chalk paint on my brush, I'm going to go around the lip of this bell. It's not a super big lip on there, so it doesn't quite, I just am kind of giving you that enameled look on here. So it's totally optional, but since I am making this look a little bit distressed, I will take just the littlest bit of that black chalk paint and kind of go give a little bit of distressing around this bell so it looks aged and not so pristine. So depending on your style, or if you like things distressed, I know it is a matter of whether or not it's a personal preference or not. You'll just do what you would like to, but I'm just showing you with mine just very, very lightly putting a little bit of distressing on here. Now I have these picks that I did pick up at Hobby Lobby. They're 50% off right now, so they were 50 cents each. So I have 2 of those. So that puts me, I'm trying to keep this under $5. So this puts me right at my $5 limit. I have a bag of Christmas scraps of greenery. I love to buy the Walmart greenery at 97 cents and then just use it to just kind of pick from. So I'm taking just a couple of picks from that I have from scraps and gluing that onto each side. Totally optional, but I'm just showing you how you can just take a bell and totally give it a makeover to match your decor. I really do think 2 of these would be beautiful side by side, so that you could do that if you had the budget to do that as well. You can see I'm just using 4 little tips of this pick scraps that I have to glue all around there, and then I'm using 2 of these little picks from Hobby Lobby. Now I cut off the long wires on them, and then the excess wires, you can see I'm just going to take my pliers, wrap that around so it's not going to scratch the bell, it's not going to cut you, and just clamp that down. And it gives it a perfect size and shape there to be able to glue down. And I do the same thing on both sides of the bell. Now, if you did want to keep your budget down or you don't have the greenery, just doing this on one side of the bell would be fine if you're going to have a definite hanging from like the front and back. So that way just the front side has the greenery on it. I opted to do both sides on mine. Again, just giving you some ideas of what you could do. Maybe you've got a bell at home or something that you want to kind of give a refresh to or a makeover. I think this is a great idea. I think this turned out so classy. It is such a very classic look. Bells are always going to be in style with your Christmas decor, and what a fun way to give a refresh to something that I had that I didn't love the look of. What do you guys think of this? Thank you so much for joining me today for these 5 Christmas DIYs that were each less than $5. I think they all turned out so beautiful. It is so fun to challenge yourself to see what you can create on a budget. Thank goodness we have thrift stores and Dollar Tree to help us with that. But I just love the fact that you can take something maybe you have lying around your home, like this little junk box here, and be able to make pieces of art that are so pretty and so beautiful. It's just so fun to challenge yourself and see what you can come up with. Did you have a favorite project from today? I love them all. I truly do. But this little junk box right here, I think is one of my most favorite Christmas DIYs. I can remember a lot of the other projects that I've made with some of these pieces that are left over from, or even those little glass baubles that are in there were actually, my mom gave them to me on a necklace years ago. So it's fun to just be able to take different pieces and make something that is something I'm truly going to treasure. I But again, I love all of them, but I think my heart leans a little bit more to that cute little junk box and all of the fun things in there. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please remember that this is part of a playlist. Thank you again to Shar from Crafting Up a Storm with Shar for joining me as my guest host. That link's going to be down in my description box or pinned in my comments so you can easily find that. If you've made it this far in the video, leave your favorite Christmas icon emoji down in my comments to let me know that you enjoyed all of today's projects. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Happy crafting! If you liked the video that you just saw and you want to keep crafting together, here's another video that you might enjoy. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.